stay-at-home dad, watching Disney movies he never had. His daughter digs through all the VHS, crushing the classics in a princess dress. Informed like Scuttle, Kurt's got your ticket, making it real like Jiminy Cricket. Most are off the Captain Hook, but if the Tweedledum, he'll be taking more shots than Bambi's mom. Leave him raised like Simba, or cracked like the beast dishes. He'll show you a whole new world, you won't need 3 wishes. Stay-at-home Disney dad.
Apologize in advance for names and whatnot, I'm not very good. We start with a dark castle. The patroller gets clipped in the head by a bird, and I'm already feeling this movie. A single grappling hook clips atop the castle, and dozens of following grappling hooks clip atop the castle. The castle is under attack. This beast appears with a bird on his shoulders like the crow. The guard lights a fire and says, "Now all of China knows you're here," and this badass replies, "Good," and he burns the flag. That is how you start a movie, folks. The Huns are here, and the king is looking for a man to lead the charge against them. Cut to Mulan. I see what they did there. Mulan's dad prays that his daughter will impress the matchmaker today. Mulan arrives late for the matchmaker, and I really like Mulan. She's the usual Disney girl against the grain screw up, but unlike most of the first act oblivious princesses, Mulan already has confidence and some amazing swagger. They cover Mulan in makeup and get ready to present her to the matchmaker. They sing a song about being the kind of women men want. This is pretty sad, again, because she's not the usual clueless, wide-eyed Belle or Ariel just daydreaming her life away. Mulan has crap to do. Mulan is dialed in. She takes care of her dad. She's already strong and independent. She's awesome. The matchmaker judges all the women by appearance, and Mulan gets put up to the matchmaker's test. She wins, then loses, then sings Reflections as you do. But seriously, Reflections is a pretty underrated Disney song. Okay, one man from each family must enlist to fight the Huns. Mulan says her dad has already fought once and is too old. Dad looks his daughter in the eyes and tells her she disgraced him. Alright, settle down, Dad. He practices with his sword and falls over because he's old. Okay, boomer. Mulan knows he ain't gonna make it. I gotta say, the one thing Disney got really good at is sucking you in early in these movies. Go back and watch any movie before Little Mermaid, like anything before the 90s, and like nothing happens in the first 2 acts. These 90 ones punch you right in the face right off the bat. Mulan says, "He can't go, he will die." He says, "I'm fine dying for my country." There's this amazing animation of her sitting on a throne in the rain, and suddenly this just kick-ass music starts and all the hair stands up on my arms as we have this montage of Mulan cutting her hair with a sword and preparing herself for battle. Why don't we see this scene in every single Disney montage? That was amazing. That was one of the top 5 like Disney moments I've ever seen so far, and easily one of the most intense. 5 stars for that. Mulan's parents wake up and realize she's taken the sword and taken her father's place in the army. Grandmother says a protection prayer and the gods resurrect Mushu and Eddie Murphy's career. Mushu is a tiny red dragon and he is not the protector. He bangs the gong and the real protector ghosts come to life and bicker about Mulan and why she's trouble and whose fault it is. One says, "At least she's not like your daughter, a cross-dresser." Oof. 1998, everyone. After that, Mushu ends up getting the job because no one else wants it. The Huns are getting close, and man, this bad guy with the bird, Shang Yu, he finds a couple scouts, and instead of killing them, he tells them to go back and tell the Emperor he's ready. The scouts run away terrified, and Shang Yu asks his army, "How many men does it take to relay a message?" before shooting one in the back with an arrow. Ice cold. Mushu appears to Mulan as she is practicing acting like a dude. She laughs at this tiny wizard and he tries to impress her with his powers, and part of the list of things he can do is see through her armor. She slaps him. That isn't the last body joke we get, so take a deep breath. She watches the men be men, and Mushu gives her terrible advice on how to be a man. She tries acting like a man, but ends up accidentally starting a giant fight, and then runs away as everyone else is fighting. The main trainer says he doesn't want him/Mulan starting any more trouble, and she says she's sorry. You know how it is. You get these manly urges, and you have to kill something. Whoa, Mulan, take it easy. She's not wrong. She enlists as the son from her family name. They didn't know that that family had a son. She says they don't talk about him much, and she comes up with a fake name, Ping. Training begins tomorrow. It's tomorrow, so training is today. Fascinating recap, Curtis. Training goes with a montage, Be a Man song. This soundtrack is pretty awesome. The second line of Be a Man is, "Did they send their daughters when we asked for sons?" Well, yeah, she probably should have been worried about that lyric. Okay, even though she's supposed to act like a man, she's still kind of cute. And I'm reminded of the scene in Frisky Dingo where the female spy infiltrates the Extical army who all wear full like stormtrooper armor. she shows up in this like chesty, obviously female version of the armor that says she's a man and her name is Hooper. And the rest of the troop accept that Hooper is indeed a man, but behind his back they all talk about how hot Hooper is. You gotta see it. It makes sense if you see it. It's funny. Mulan is bathing in the lake and then the other men jump in with her. Mushu says he's positive there's a couple of things they're bound to notice. I think he's talking about her breasts. Oh, right. Never mind. She tries to play it cool, and then there's this actually really funny scene where the jerk that tried to beat her up during practice is standing naked on the rock, and it's shot from like behind between his legs, and she is shielding her eyes. It's really funny to see this in a Disney movie. The captain and man responsible for training all of these lackluster men is getting chewed up by his superior for doing a crap job with these crap men. Mushu scolds Mulan for having a crush on the captain. Here we go. It gets a little muddy here. Mushu makes a fake letter from the general that's given to the captain, and the fake letter tells the captain to move the recruits. Okay. As they pack up camp and move, they sing a song about how they all want a girl, and each verse is about what they want and look for in a girl. It rides the line pretty close, and then it comes to Mulan. It's her turn to sing a line, and she says, "How about a girl with a brain who speaks her mind?" That's really great. This has aged really well for 1998. Everyone who complains about Disney and their constant portrayal of ditzy princesses, eat rocks. This movie's 22 years old. They nailed it. They return to their old village and it's been destroyed and burnt to the ground. Bleak. The general is dead, I assume. It's a little vague because I imagine Disney can't really show a head on a spike. Anyways, the captain trainer was just promoted to general as the general is dead, and the former general was the captain's dad. You know, I try my best, but I miss some stuff as I'm typing and looking down. Okay, he moves his army again as he wants to intercept the Han army before the Huns make it to the Emperor. But the Huns attack. They're blindsided. We merge classic animation with some CGI, and this is great. The army of bumblers are gonna die by the skilled Hun army, so Mulan causes an avalanche and the Huns retreat before they can kill everyone. Mulan gets on her horse, saves the general from the avalanche, which actually wipes out most of the Hun army. Mushu is using a shield as a sled. This is a really fun scene. The Huns are avalanched, but the good guys are saved. Ping/Mulan was wounded in the battle, and in the hospital, they see her bandaged chest, and it's revealed she's actually a woman. I'm having boys don't cry flashbacks. She's called out. They call her a treacherous snake and accuse her of treason. Like, hey, settle down, guys. She literally just saved everyone. Like, all of them. But she's a woman, so it looks like she needs to be beheaded to learn her lesson of being a woman who saves everyone. To his, I don't want to say credit, but the general spares her life because she saved his life. Like, okay, I'm clearly not the most in the know about deep Chinese military culture, but was this a thing? I don't know. I mean, what's the problem here? She was actually the best warrior they had. The raven circles the area and suddenly Shang Yu, his hand pops out like Carrie from the grave, and slowly his entire Han army unbury themselves. This resurrection scene is good stuff. The only one to see this is of course the exiled Mulan, who is still moping along the side of the mountain. Back in the city, the male warriors are getting a hero's reception and a parade for defeating the Huns. Like, wow, for real. Mulan returns and tries to warn the general that the Huns are alive and in the city. The general, whose name I just learned is Shang, says, "Why should I believe you?" Maybe because she lied about being a boy only so she could keep her father alive and defend China against the Han army, which she did, as well as save everyone's life. But I guess she's a liar, so there's no point believing her. Okay, the Huns are invading the city and they carry on their murderous rampage. That's the plan. I don't think these dots connect. Shang hands the sword back to the Emperor, but the bad guy's Raven steals it, flies to the roof, and one shadowy gargoyle was actually Shang Yu, who stands up, and I am ready. Let's do this, Disney. Great sequence there. Guess what? The entire Han army actually was hiding in plain sight. Now the Emperor is screwed. You know, if I was Mulan, I'd jump sides right about now. Like, how bad could it be living with the Huns? Like, could they possibly be more disrespectful to her than her own people? Shaggy wants the Emperor to bow to him. Mulan has an idea. The tables have turned, and she gets their army to dress up like women and parade out in front of the ogling Hun army. The Hun army calls them concubines, and I feel like I need to look that word up. It's not what I think it means. The Raven sees what's up, but Mushu roasts the bird, and it looks like a Christmas turkey. Just the right amount of humor in this tense scene. Back with Shang Yu and the Emperor won't bow and says, "No matter how loud the wind howls, the mountain will not bow to it." Ah, snap. Hun general bursts in and gets knocked out. Or I mean, their general bursts in and gets knocked out. The guy's like a high-level bumbler. The women reveal themselves as the men and kick some Hun ass. King Hun is about to kill General Shang when Mulan is like, "Hey, it was me." And puts her hair up, and Shang Yu is like, you! And what follows is arguably the greatest fight scene I've ever seen in a Disney movie. Mulan and Shang Yu are having an all-out death grudge match. And just when it looks like Mulan is finally about to be finished by the much bigger, much stronger, more experienced Shang Yu, she snatches the sword from him and strikes her badass pose before he's speared off the roof by a giant firework. The sky lights up, and I guess Shang Yu is burning to death. I feel like a smelly fireworks show is a concept that hasn't been yet explored. Everyone cheers regardless, and now everyone, after all this, everyone expects Mulan to still be in trouble with the Emperor, who lists everything she's done wrong, but then swerve, the last thing she did was, quote, save us all. Yeah, dude, twice if you're counting. The entire city bows to her, and this is a Disney movie moment right here. This movie is amazing. The Emperor offers Mulan a high-ranking position. She turns him down, but he gives her a medallion and the general's sword and tells her to go home. I guess she can use the general's sword to cut her grass? I don't know. General Shang tells her she fights good, and he doesn't correct him. Fights well. She rides off, and the Emperor tells Shang a proverb that goes over his head, so he dumbs it down and says, you don't meet a girl like that every day. That's funny. Back home, she shows her dad the medallion and sword she was gifted for being the baddest of badasses, and Dad doesn't care. He's just happy his daughter is home. Like, poor Mulan. She can't get the proper respect anywhere. Is this what being a girl is like? Mushu did a good job, so he gets to be a full-fledged guardian again, and we end with an ill-placed 1980s like Oliver and Company sounding song to run over the credits. Come on, Disney! Talk about a stumble over the finish line. Why couldn't you give us another epic like Chinese influenced Dark Knight-ish full symphony song to slap the perfect ending onto a near perfect movie? But no. Alright. True to Your Heart isn't a bad song, but it's a bad song to end this movie. Like, whomever makes sure there's a certain percentage of mediocrity and filler in most Disney movies must have been sick for the entire production of Mulan until like the last day, and everyone's shoulders just slumped when he came back to work that day and watched the credits and proclaimed, you know what this movie needs to end? A heavy synth scat number. Yeah, let's really celebrate the culture. Skizzle scat bapski boop. Poor Mulan, probably got blamed for this as well.
That's what I think about.
What do you think?
What we have is a concern about Curtis Anderson. His interviewing style is not the best. His personal appearance is not the best. I was wondering if the man has some kind of a hold over the channel that he's allowed to be employed for so long.